As someone who's helped over 1,000 different insurance agency builders scale their recruiting, I'm going to be sharing some very important tips with you guys that you can immediately start applying in your business to help you with recruiting more insurance agents. So, with that being said, here on the screen, we have kind of our flow of what it takes to go from nothing to actually having leads to eventually converting those people into recruits and then eventually converting those recruits into licensed agents, producers, and hopefully at some point they become leaders and they start repeating this whole process on their own. Therefore, they are building your agency. They're building their agency within your agency, which is where you start capitalizing on a lot of override income and passive growth, which is obviously the goal of this business model. So with that being said, for the purpose of this video, we're going to focus on how you can go from nothing to having leads, and then how you can go from leads to recruits. And we're going to keep the rest of this process for different videos. Therefore, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out. Okay, cool. Now, back to this actual flow chart, right? We want to make sure that we generate a lot of leads. So here, we're going to have some of our easiest and top performing lead generation systems that you can pull from. First of all, obviously, warm market is going to be extremely popular. It's definitely something that everybody needs to do because it's free, right? And also, if you're watching this video, you're probably in a network marketing company. Therefore, your goal is to use your network to actually market your business, your insurance products, and obviously this business opportunity, right? So I'm going to give you guys a couple warm market tips here. But before that, let's actually go back to the four main pillars that you can use to generate some recruiting leads. First of all, warm market. We're going to cover that here in a second. Secondly, LinkedIn. So what I would recommend everybody to do is actually set up a LinkedIn bot that will reach out to people for you and try to recruit them. So what I mean is, like, let's say you scrape a list of 1,000 different teachers in your area, and then you're like on your LinkedIn profile saying, hey, I specialize in helping teachers create a second income stream. And then you send out messages, direct messages to people from that robot saying, hey, Caddy, just noticed that you were a teacher. I specialize in helping teachers create a second income stream. Do you keep your opportunities open, or would you be open to scheduling a 15-minute call to see if this could apply for you, right? So I've got a whole video on the channel on how you can set up this LinkedIn tool in about 20 minutes and start generating about let's say 10 to 20 good candidates per month, and out of those only about 5 or 6 are actually going to show up to the appointment, aka the one-on-one, and you're going to be able to get 1 to 2 recruits per month from this $50 LinkedIn strategy. So if you're not doing that, you're going to need to do that. Right? It's a no-brainer. After that, the third thing I would recommend is online ads. Okay, so let's say you were to set up some proper Facebook ads and you invest 500 bucks a month into your actual ad spend, you would be able to generate anywhere between 200 to 500 decent quality leads that are interested in opening their own business in financial services. So this is actually what my company specializes in. You can check out our website if you're interested in that. But just keep in mind that online ads is going to be a lot more scalable than warm market or LinkedIn, right? This is kind of like everybody needs to have that at all times. It's kind of like your small gravy. This is when you're ready to scale fast. You're going to start investing into actual online ads for your recruiting. Okay. And then I see a lot of people actually doing job search sites, which I know some people do get success with it. Most of the people that I talk to actually don't really like this because they get a lot of people who are looking for a salary based job and are not really entrepreneurial or don't really have a business mindset. Therefore, you end up wasting a ton of time presenting to people who were not qualified in the first place or not interested in the first place to the actual opportunity. So, these are kind of like the four main things that you don't need anything else than this, to be honest with you. And actually, we've grown our company to multi seven figures using primarily online ads and LinkedIn, and also a little bit of warm market, but not too much. So those are going to be the three that I would recommend you invest your time, energy, and money into at some point. Now, I did mention warm market is the most important one. You need to be doing this at all time. So what do I actually mean by warm market? Here we're going to have some warm market strategies, okay? There's 5 things that you can do today to generate leads from your warm market. Number one, you're actually going to take a sheet of paper and you're going to write down the top 25 people that you know that might be interested in creating a second income stream. Okay. So that's going to be your start list of like your best contacts. Now you might be thinking, hey, I've already done that years ago. I've already exhausted my warm market. Well, here's what you can do. Let's say you got one, two, three, four, 5 recruits on your team. You can do the same exercise with them and expand your warm market through your recruits warm market. This is called network marketing, right? So you can also do that for recruiting, not only for selling insurance. So what are the top 25 people that you think might be interested in creating a second income stream? That's going to be your top 25 leads that you're going to reach out. Obviously, you can do a top 50, top 100, depending on how many people you actually know. But most people will be able to find 25 qualified or potentially qualified leads. Now, maybe you've already done all of that. Here's what you can do. Go to your client list. Hopefully, you've got all of your clients' email or phone number. So what you can do is shoot an email or a text or even call all of your clients and you can ask them, hey, are you actually open or interested to create a second revenue stream, a second income stream, right? So you're going to hear me say this a lot. Are you open to hearing having a second income stream? That's kind of like, because it's a no-brainer offer. Most people are going to say, yeah, I do have some openness to making more money, right? So that's just going to get you the foot in the door. And then obviously you're going to need to sell this opportunity. You're going to need to give people the right expectations to see if they're actually a good fit to work with you and if they would, eventually have the potential to become a leader. Okay. Now, let's say your client, when you call them, you text them, they're like, no, I'm not interested in that. Got it. Well, think about this. All of your clients technically also have a top 25 sheet, right? So, what you need to do is get good at getting client referrals. What I mean by that? So, obviously, you're not going to ask your client to fill out a top 25 sheet, but you can ask them a question so that you get the answer you want. For example, let's say our client is Johnny, right? Hey, Johnny, who do you know that might be interested in actually having a second income stream? Or, hey, Johnny, can you give me the names of 3 people you know that might be interested in having a second income stream or might be interested in starting their own business, right? So, this is an easy question to ask your clients, and this will give you some free warm market leads that you can then reach out to. Obviously, after you have the names, you're going to need to ask the phone numbers, and even better if you get the email, right? And then those are going to be people you call. The introduction is easier. Hey, I just spoke to one of my client, Johnny. He told me you might be interested in creating a second income stream. And this is how the conversation can very, very easily start. Now, I would prioritize this 1,000% more than, like, I know some of the people that work with us used to like go to the park or like go buy a protein bar at Walmart just to be around people and cold approach people. Like, you need to leverage this stuff first because that's a bigger lever that you can pull that's going to yield to better results faster. There's already some level of trust in your warm market, right? And then also think about all the people that you have as Facebook friends, Instagram followers, or Snapchat friends, right? Whatever social media platforms you're using, maybe LinkedIn, those are all people that you can either reach out to by DMs. Again, having a proven offer, you don't need to use exactly the sentence I'm giving you right here, but whatever you're reaching out people with, make sure it's a no-brainer offer. For example, you could be like, um, hey, Johnny, I recently joined our I've been building my business for the last 2 years, and I'm currently looking for people who would be interested in having a second income stream. Is that something you're potentially open to? And that's it, right? Don't overcomplicate it. Make it simple, direct, and people will tell you yes or no. Now, what I don't want you guys to do is actually follow up with people that never had an interest, right? You kind of throw the line there. If they say yes, then you can follow up with them. But if they're like not responding or saying no, don't try to push the envelope too hard because this might cause some damage in your relationship with that person. So, this is how anybody can generate leads easily in their warm market. Let's say you do all of that. Now, I'm not saying, let's say you know all of that and you don't do it, but let's say you know all of that, you do all of that, and now you still need more leads. What I want you guys to do is go and set up this LinkedIn automation, right? Check out the video on my profile. It's going to be called How to Recruit Insurance Agents on LinkedIn. So you're going to find it very easily. That's going to give you, an extra dozen or two leads per month. And then on top of that, if you still want more recruiting, then you're going to go and, you're going to go and invest in online ads. Okay. So that's how you get leads. Now you've got pretty much unlimited amounts of leads. How do you convert them into recruits, right? Let's say you've got a low volume of leads. I would consider anything below 100 candidates per month, low volume. You're going to want to book these people into a one-on-one interview slash one-on-one presentation with you because that's where you're going to get the highest closing rate. Okay. I'm going to cover the one-on-one structure here in a second. But for now, just keep in mind, if you have less than 100 leads coming in per month, you're probably only going to be meeting with 20 or 30 of them anyway. So make sure it's going to be a one-on-one call. Now, let's say you do this and you've got your online ads, and now you got like 500 leads a month coming in total. Obviously, it's going to be very hard for you to meet like 100 to 200 people every single month on top of training your team and doing the rest of this process. So, what I recommend you guys do is one of two things. You're either going to create a group presentation once, twice, thrice a week on your calendar where, let's say, 5 to 15 people can join, and you do a live presentation with them, you animate them, and you kind of do a brief overview of the pitch of the opportunity you have to offer. And then whoever is interested, then you book them into a one-on-one and do this complete flow. Obviously, that's going to be good because you're going to disqualify a lot of people that are not interested in the opportunity in a one-to-many format. Therefore, you're not necessarily losing too much time. The only drawback to this is that you will lose in overall conversion because people, might not connect as much if it's one-to-many versus if it's like a one-on-one call. But that's fine. Overall, if you get 500 leads and you do group presentation to one-on-one, you're still going to get more recruits than if you get 100 leads and you only do one-on-ones. Hope that makes sense. Now, the other option, which we actually do instead of a group presentation, is a video intro, right? So let's say you get all these leads, and then what you're going to do is send them what we call our full offer video, right? So if they're interested, you send them your full offer video, and then after that, if they're still interested, they can book a one-on-one call with you. So this will do the same effect or impact as a group presentation, except they can watch it anytime. You don't need to set an hour of your time every week or multiple times a week to do a group presentation. And you can retake this video and remake it as many times as you want until it's perfect, right? So this is probably what I would recommend you guys do as far as like a good recruiting tip is do a video intro about your business opportunity rather than group presentation or rather than doing always one-on-ones if you have a big volume of leads. Okay? So now you've got your leads and you've done the group presentation or video intro. Now they're scheduled on a one-on-one with you. How are you actually going to convert that appointment or that lead into a recruit? Okay. Here's what I don't want you guys to do is start pitching and trying to close right away. So treat this literally as a sales call because it is a sales call, right? So the first thing you're going to do is gather information about that person. Where are they at in their career, in their income, in their family life, versus where do they want to be income wise, career wise, family wise, and whatever important areas of their life. So, what we're going to do is ask them a bunch of questions about their current situation versus their desired situation. And here's what that does. You guys can see between those two squares, there's actually a gap. This is where your opportunity comes in and fills that gap during the pitch. But if you don't know where they're at and where they want to go, it's going to be very hard for you to put your opportunity and position it to fill that gap because you don't know if there's a gap or where the gap is. Hope that makes sense. Now, let's say they have a current situation, 9 to 5. They're not really happy with what they do or the income they make. And, let's say they're making 5K per month, which is very reasonable, 5K per month, working for government or whatever. And they'd like to be making 10, 12K per month working in their own business. That's going to be the current versus desired situation. There's obviously a gap between those two. Now, your solution is not the only solution in the world for them to go from 5 to 10K per month and for them to quit their 9 to 5 and have a business, right? There's millions of different options out there. So, what you want to do is isolate your opportunity from everything else they could potentially do. Turns out they probably tried other things to achieve their goals in the past. So, you want to ask them, what have you tried so far to help you go from that 5K per month income to that 10K per month income, right? They give you an answer. Okay, what else have you tried? And you dig, you dig, you dig until there's nothing. Now, can you tell me why those have failed? Ultimately, why did it fail, right? So, if you guys know everything, exactly where they're at, exactly where they want to go, and exactly everything they've tried that didn't succeed, now you're going to be able to do a decent pitch and fill that gap. So, you guys want to know what the pitch is? That's literally it. It's literally that. That's your pitch, right? It helps them go from current to desired situation in the straightest, easiest, shortest time possible, right? So people are always going to choose the path of least resistance. You need to position your business opportunity as this path of least resistance for them to go from where they're at to where they want to go. Okay, if you do that, then you're going to have a very, very high closing ratio. Hope that makes sense. And then lastly, you're going to go into closing, right? Or commitment phases. So you do your info gather properly, you pitch those people, they're interested in the opportunity. Now it's time to actually get them to commit to pay that sign up fee or online course fee or whatever you guys charge up front. And this is where you stop selling and you start closing. People are going to have trust issues. People are going to have uncertainty. People are going to want to talk to their spouse or partner. People are going to want to think about it, right? So if you're a good salesperson but a terrible closer, you're going to be like, yeah, that makes sense. Let's set up a second appointment. And that person's gone forever, right? If you're a good closer, what you're going to be able to do is actually paste those objections and get that person to commit to doing this because we know it is the best opportunity for them to get to where they are versus where they want to go, right? So if we know that's the best transition for them, then it's our job to not let that person go and make sure we serve that person by giving them the best opportunity for them. So I've got different videos where I talk about objection handling, but the basic flow looks like this, okay? You're going to have your objection, and then you're going to do a pace number 1. So let's say that person's like, hey, I love this opportunity, but I don't know if, I'm going to need to think about it. Okay, got it. If you don't mind me asking, right, how do you feel about our process and everything? And now they're like, no, I love the process. It's just that I don't know if I'm ready to invest like $400 right now to get started in this business. Sure. So money aside, essentially what you're saying is like, you really like our process and you think that this is the best way to help you hit your goals. Yes. Okay. Now I've done my pace number 1. The guy says yes. Awesome. What you're going to want to do is a pace number 2. Okay, so essentially what I'm hearing is like you're not really thinking about if you should do this or not. It's more a matter of making it work financially where you're able to actually invest that money to get started today. In other words, if we find a way to get you started today, you're ready to go. Make sense? And then the guy's like, yeah, sure. I mean, like I said, I don't have the money to do this, but if I had the money to do this, I would definitely do it today. All right, cool. So, look, I can't promise you anything. And now we go into actually handling the price objection because we've isolated this objection and we know it's nothing else. So we can actually handle it. All right. So, look, I can't promise you anything, but what we can do is kind of look into what you've got available. And then based on that, either we're going to find a way that you can afford this and get started today, or worst case scenario, we're going to build a game plan to help you get started on this in the future. Are you open to that? Yes. Awesome. So, what's your available credit? And then they give you an answer. What's your cash on hand or cash balance? And how much you got in savings? And now they're going to give you the answers because you framed it properly. And most people are going to have more than 400 bucks, more than 125 bucks, or whatever your specific company is charging. So this is how you would beat the price objection, because you're going to be like, or the money objection, because you're going to be like, hey, look, you've got $1,500 on your credit card. Most people get started in this business by putting this down payment on a credit card. That's how I got started. Why don't we do this with you and bring you to 10K per month in the next 6 months? Boom, you've just handled this objection. This is what a good closer will do. Okay, so this is essentially what I wanted to cover with you guys as far as like some of the best, insurance agent recruiting tips. Obviously, there's a lot more that goes into this. I could do like a 3 hour video about each of these different squares, quite literally. And this is probably what I will do on this channel. So if you like this kind of content, we help insurance agency builders grow to 7 figures and beyond for free on our Skool community. So check the link in the description of this video and join our free community. We're going to be training you up, welcoming you, and making sure that you hit your business goals. On top of that, if you want to be notified when there's new videos like this, you can definitely subscribe to this channel, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.